look like I'm not in the camera. Oh, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to our recovery support group. My name is Craig, and I have someone who's in the background. You can see her. And you want to introduce, say your first name?
Angeline Merced.
Well, there you go. And so she is joining us today, and she's part of this group. We're going to be talking about, first of all, this is our coffee and conversation hour, okay? And so we're going to bring you some information. And this article was brought to us by OrlandoRecovery.com. You go online, if you like, you can retrieve this information. And so without further ado, we're going to just get right into it. And so I am someone who also is in recovery. So I know a little bit about recovery. I don't know or claim to know everything about recovery. However, I know some things, all right? And so we'll leave all the professional stuff up to the professional. So today's title is Getting Through Early Recovery from Addiction. Once again, this is our coffee conversation support group. And so I'm going to just go ahead and read, right? You have anything to say?
No.
Okay. All right. So starts off by stating, this article starts off by stating, early recovery can be both an exciting and nerve-wracking time. A person in early recovery has taken vital steps toward health and happiness, but may still experience drug or alcohol cravings and have conflicting desires, okay? And so early recovery can be very challenging to all of us, all right? And so we just have to be mindful of the cravings that can be associated with early recovery. Early sobriety is often considered to be the most tumultuous time in recovery, as this is the period when relapse risk is the highest, all right? And so a lot of times people go into detox or residential treatment, may be short term, and come home and think that we got it all figured out and we got it made, we out the clear. But this article reminds us that during the early part, that's when relapse risk is the highest. But recovery is worth the effort, so don't get discouraged. Recovery is worth the effort. And you can take steps to ensure that you make it through these times stronger and more committed than ever. All right? And so be encouraged. Listen, if you fall, you relapse, listen, don't be so hard on yourself. Just know that, keep trying. Don't give up. Anything in life is worth having, is worth fighting for. And so your life, your health is very important. So keep working to become much better day by day. All right. And so today's topic we want to talk about is what is early recovery. I'm glad you asked. There is no dictionary definition of early recovery. Let me read that again. There is, listen up, no dictionary definition of early recovery. It can refer to the first 6 months of abstinence, the first year, or the first 3 years. It encapsulates the period where people still feel new to the recovery world and are still learning how to exist without substance use. For most people, this is a time of radical change, meeting new people, having new experiences, and learning to deal with life on life's terms. Change can be difficult for anyone. People fall into routines naturally, and breaking them takes constant effort and willpower. This is doubly true for people recovering from addiction, as they must work to establish new coping skills while their brains recover from the effects of frequent substance use. And so that's the main goal, is learning coping skills. All right, new coping skills. All right, not the old one, but the new one. That's what we want to talk about. And so the next topic we want to address and that is common challenges in early recovery. Common challenges in early recovery. And so there is a host of them. And so I'm going to go right through each and every one of them. And we're going to see what this article let us know about some of the challenges. Everyone has different challenges in early recovery. For the most part, these challenges come down to dealing with problems in healthy ways as they arise. In recovery, you learn to cope with your thoughts and emotions in new ways. While this is tremendously beneficial, the process itself isn't always easy. All right. So don't, like I said, don't be hard on yourself. The process is a growing process. It's a stage where we all can, get better. So for my peer, Angelique's here, I just want to encourage you. You're doing great. Keep up the good work. As the article says, it's a process. Rome wasn't built in a day. We have to deal with it day by day. And so one of the process is dealing with mood swings. All right. The article says mood swings. We're gonna face some emotions here. All right. One of the first challenges in substance use disorder treatment is mood swings and early recovery. After months or years of substance use, people become accustomed to having their emotions dampened or heightened artificially. When they achieve sobriety, their moods begin to shift back to normal. For a time, this transition back to normalcy can feel like a roller coaster ride. So mood swings can be up and down. Some days we have good days, some days we have bad days. But that's all part of the process. And a lot of times when we having these mood swings, we have to be able to identify and say, today I'm having it, I'm struggling a little bit, be able to identify and assess it and say, what, let me do something to counter the way I am feeling. I'm in this class, Angelis, and it's called community health worker. And the teacher there gave all of us this chart called the feeling wheel. And a lot of times it says, she expressed that it's important to be able to identify our feelings. So if I ask you, I say, Angelise, how are you feeling today? Most time, or if somebody asks me, Craig, how are you feeling today? I may say, I'm feeling good, or I'm feeling all right, but that's not a feeling. So one of the feelings can be, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling sad, be more specific, be able to identify. Once you identify, be able to counteract it with something that can either enhance the way you're feeling or improve upon it. All right. Depression, that's another one of the common challenges in early recovery. First, we talked about mood swings. Now we're talking about depression. Depression in early recovery is a relatively common problem. This usually occurs for one or two reasons. Number one, substance use was being used as a form of self-medication for pre-existing depression. Number two, depression has developed as a result of substance use disorder. Depression in early recovery is by no means a life sentence. Let me read that again. I need to stress this because a lot of times we get so hung up and down on ourselves. Oh, life is boring. It's no fun no more. No, no, no. You can have just as much as fun without substance as when you was using drugs, because truth be told is that you can have fun, but you can have a different kind of fun independently of using drugs. And so have you, just imagine going shopping. That's an outlet for most women. or for men, probably be eating, going to have a nice meal. Those things, or going to a movie, those things, people get joy out of it. And so, if you may be feeling down and you may have some spare change, why not go buy you a nice shirt, and say, "Wow, this is a beautiful shirt," and it just give it a try and see how that may change one's outlook or state of feeling at that time. The next one we want to talk about difficult emotions. All right. Early recovery often brings people face to face with difficult emotions that they're suppressed or ignored during addiction. All right. This can be a result of action they took during addiction that brings shame or guilt, pre-existing emotions that contribute to substance use, or external circumstances, such as the loss of a loved one. And so there are what we call eternal uh, emotions, and then there can be external emotions. Internal emotion is how we actually feeling, and then there'll be external emotion, how we respond to situations at a given time on the outside. Weight gain. This is a major one, especially for me. And so weight gain, it says weight gain in early recovery is a common experience. All right. And so that can occur for several reasons. People with alcohol use disorder who stop drinking lost a large source of calories and while typically increased food consumption as a result. You ever heard that saying, switch one addiction to another addiction? And so we have to be mindful of not only removing ourselves from alcohol and drugs, but also not to get into another addiction where we want to eat a lot, and whereas it can cause some type of medical conditions, hypertension, sugar, diabetes, and all that stuff. So we just want to have a balance. If we do it when we do things the appropriate way, we get better outcomes. Cravings. Let's talk about cravings. Cravings can last for some time after you stop substance use. These can be incredibly distressing. While cravings can be powerful, remember that you don't need to act upon them. Learning to surf the urge. I like that. Learning to surf the urge by using mindfulness techniques or engaging in another activity that can help you to overcome cravings and maintain your recovery. Isolation. This is another big one for a lot of us, where boredom may come in, and whereas we begin to have these thoughts, fleeting thoughts, at, at a rapid rate, and so we may find ourselves uh, thinking so much, whereas we feel that we need to do something to relieve this. So social support is pivotal in early recovery, but it often seems hard to come by. Isolation in early recovery affects many people, and it can lead to cravings, depression, and feeling unsupported. When you feel isolated, try attending a support group or reaching out to friends or family members. Right? Don't allow yourself to be in a box. Step outside the box. Try some new things. Try some new alternatives. This article says seek a recovery support group such as this, or go for a bike ride. Go interact with people. Call a friend, someone who's also in sobriety, or someone who will give you some good advice to fight some of these cravings that one may encounter. Relationship. This is another big one. Lastly, relationships in early recovery are a major challenge for many people. Early recovery is already fraught with mood swings, difficult emotions, depressions, and feeling of insecurity. Romantic, or familiar relationship can introduce new stressors and make it difficult to focus on what you need to do to maintain your recovery. All right. Be mindful of that because we're already dealing with so much underlying issues, whereas being in a stressful relationship, a lot of times they say toxic relationship, but a lot of times it could just be stressful relationship. So we may have to find some things to help us stay focused, stay the course, and to relieve some of those stresses. And so you will have to know what some of the techniques or benefits that you would choose to uh, minimize any distraction or stresses that may cause you to have ideas or stressors that can cause you to maybe have a thought, a negative thought. So anytime you're dealing with stressors, especially if they're negative ones, you want to replace those negative stressors with something positive. I do a exercise myself because I come from a therapeutic community. I always do a self-evaluation to see how I am doing, not with the substance issue, but how I am doing with my emotions, how I'm doing with handling relationships, how I'm doing a self-awareness test to see if I'm thinking positive and see how I can always improve upon myself. And so that's something that I'm constantly doing. It helps me. That's just the technique that I use. And you can do the same thing if you like to. Whatever method or pathway that you use to keep your sobriety, utilize it as long as it's effective. The next one topic of discussion, I already tapped on it, maintaining sobriety and early recovery. The challenges of early recovery make it the most dangerous time in terms of relapse. Research suggests that 40 to 60% of people with substance use disorder relapse, especially during the first year of recovery. While there are many challenges in early recovery, the path to staying sober is relatively simple. Follow a few basic principles will help you to maintain your sobriety and strive in your new life. Maintaining sobriety has just a few key components. Continue treatment. If you're struggling with mental health concerns or cravings, speaking to a counselor or therapist can be incredibly beneficial. All right. And so a lot of times, recovery support group, yeah, that's fine, it's good. Where you can be amongst your peers, you can share your story and also listen to others share their story as well. But then there is another level of recovery that we need to focus on. And the article says whether it's through a counselor or speaking with a therapist. Growing social connections, finding a group of like-minded peers to spend time with is one of the most beneficial steps you can take in recovery. Attending self-help groups. Self-help groups provide social support, increase your likelihood of staying sober, and can help you stay vigilant against the risk of relapse. And so I know all this stuff to a newcomer. They may say, oh man, it's a lot of stuff, to do. Uh, I hear people tell me, I'm programmed out. I don't took this group. I don't took that group. I don't went here. It's the same old story. But in all actuality, the reminder, that's what keeps us, keep our sobriety, to be reminded of where we came from, where we at, and where we want to go. And so there's always growth. Never limit yourself. Never have a fixed mindset. Always have a growth mindset. Here's the difference. A fixed mindset is that someone will say, I don't need to go to NA or AA. I got it all figured out, right? And so the outcome of that would be that they are, whatever they learn, there's no room to learn no more. But a growth mindset will say, you know what? I want to improve upon all the stuff that I already know because I want to not only help myself get better, but I want to help those who's connected to me or surrounded with me get better. And so there's the difference from a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The next one talks about maintaining sobriety and early recovery. That is spending time, finding new hobbies, activities, and interests that conflict with substance use can help you stay sober and enjoy your recovery. While simple, these tasks aren't necessarily easy. Recovery can be hard work, especially in the first year, right? And so we may be trying to navigate and find our way through the process. And so a lot of times we may don't know how to navigate, and so we may need some help. And so that's always good to. You can go on Google. There's so much ton of information. Just like this article here, I was able to just ask Google things dealing with early recovery, and this is one of the articles I was able to get. And so it's very helpful to not only retrieve this information, but it can change your life, especially if there is relationship issues, if there's a continual issue with craving urges. And also, I want to stress this point, always seek professional help as well. If you need a counselor, a sponsor, a therapist, or a mentor, or a coach, there's always a need to have accountability, because a lot of times we may find situations that may be overwhelming, and we do not know how to tackle it all by ourselves. The next one we want to talk about, and that is, and I believe it's the last discussion, health and wellness and early recovery. Health and wellness practices and early recovery can make it easier to stay sober. These cover a range of needs you can meet without substance. Fitness, this is a major one. This is something that I need to get involved with. Regular exercise routine can be beneficial in many ways. It can reduce depressive symptoms, help facilitate weight loss, and provide a surge of endorphins that can help with craving. Plus, regular exercise can be time consuming. There are classes to take, trails to find, equipment to experiment with, and techniques to master. People who develop an affinity for exercise may find that they don't need time to ponder the use of drugs. Keep your mind of the thought process of off drugs. And so exercise is a good one. Fitness, they have other things to help fill the time. That can be another vital part of recovery. All right. We're talking about health and wellness in early recovery. Fitness, sleep, high quality sleep is important, right? High quality sleep for your mental health. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, suggests that adults get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep each night. What would your sleep pattern be like, Angela?
No,
Normal consists of how many hours if you would like to add?
8.
8, good. So it says anywhere from 7 to 9 hours. It's good. All right, each night. But many people fall short of this mark. Try keeping to a regular sleep schedule, limiting screen time at night, and making sure your bedroom is cool and calm. All right, I like the sound of that part as well. Nutrition. Oh boy, it's coming. Now this article is coming down my block, and so it's cut me in all different ways. But that's okay. I need the information, and it's because I know it's going to do me good, and I hope it's going to do someone else good as well. Nutrition. Eating a balanced diet can improve your energy levels and help you feel your best. Try cutting down on sugar and eating a variety of foods. I'm guilty of that. I must admit, I am guilty. But that's okay. This is a non-judgmental zone right here. All right. Meeting with a dietitian can help you understand your nutritional needs. In rehab, people may develop new ways of eating. Facilities might hire gourmet chefs to prepare meals, or facilities might encourage residents to take cooking classes. When rehab is through, though, those in recovery must apply those lessons to daily meal plans, ensuring that the good habits they learn become daily habits they always follow. Okay? It's a leisure. Being able to enjoy recovery is essential. Finding a hobby, right? If you're an avid reader, or if you like to play chess, if you like to go fishing, if you like to do puzzles, whatever that is that you do at your leisure, find a hobby or activity that brings joy can help you stay sober, maintain a high quality of life, and not get overwhelmed by stress. In fact, a well chosen hobby can provide people with outlets they need to get through a spat or a spat of craving without relapsing. Social connection, all right, it says social support is pivotal to long-term recovery. As long as those individuals support your sobriety, those who attempt to find new connections with sober roots or rekindling old ones may have an easier time staying sober. Consider attending self-help groups such as Alcoholics Anonymous, or Smart Recovery. These groups are designed specifically to help people in early recovery get the support they need. New hobbies and new jobs could also introduce you to people you have never met before. And lastly, should you date in early recovery? And this has a question mark after it. Should you date? And I heard stories, but I'm gonna see what the article says. Should you date in early recovery? The article says while a new romantic relationship may seem like just the type of support you need, relationships, listen up, listen good. It says relationships in early recovery can cause stress, anxiety, and heartbreak. They can even lead people to relapse. Take the time in early recovery to work on yourself first. And that's what I heard, Anthony. I've been to a few meetings myself, and they said in early recovery, people should not uh, date, especially for the first year. Work on yourself because you got so much to work on during that time. You don't want nothing to get in the way of that, right? And so, what do you think of the information?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Mhm.
All right. It didn't hurt or harm you, right? All right. That's the goal. Not to hurt or harm you, but to help us all in the process. All right. And so until the next time, my name is Craig, and I am someone in recovery. Until the next time, take care of yourself. So long. Take care. All right.